That's 2,657 words today across 100 minutes of writing. For how easy it was, that is a problem for next sprint me. Hey guys, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. And a while ago, I asked you guys what your weirdest writing habits were. I made a whole video about it, reacting to it. It was fun. But now is the time to put those habits/hacks to the test. And I'm gonna set up rules for judging them based off of my own metrics. But the 10 hacks are: 1, I do power poses so I feel more confident in my writing. 2, have a Marvel movie playing on another device while I'm working. 3, I have to wear heavy sweaters even in the dead of summer. 4, I wash my hands, feet, and face, sit for 10 minutes looking at the wall, and then start writing. 5, I always make the font Garamond before I start writing. And I'm gonna do a bonus where I finally try the Comic Sans hack too. So yes, that's like number 6. 7, I write a short diary entry before starting. That way I personally feel as if other thoughts are ended. 8, if the scene is at night, I must turn off the lights. 9, I have to sit in front of a fan while writing action scenes. It really gets me going. And 10, I consistently write 1,000 more words if I have bubble tea than if I don't. And I'm personally going to be judging these hacks based off of 1, my own enjoyment, Zelda. My actual word count that I get during the 10-minute sprints. 3, how easy it felt, like how doable, how theoretically repeatable. But then 4, my own personal likelihood that I will repeat it. So I'm probably gonna let you know about my enjoyment of it as I'm going along, but as I do the 10 minutes of timed writing sprints, I'm not gonna tell y'all the word count each time. I'm gonna save that for the very end, for a grand reveal. Zelda, this is what I need you. A grand reveal. So without further ado, let's get started with the power poses. I should also say, I'm gonna be working in 2 different stories during this. One is like a magical realism sort of story, and the other one's going to be a romance. So for the one that like requires a fan in the action scene, that will most likely be taking place during the magical realism rather than the romance. But like, just so you know, that's what I'm working with. Is this a power pose? Like the Wonder Woman? I guess I could do Wolverine. I'm also just trying to think powerful thoughts as I do this too. I am a writer who can write words. I think I'm ready. We are also facing the blank page on both of these, it should be noted, but 10 minutes on the timer. Go! And I'm gonna take a little sticky and hide the word count for the sake of this discussion. For how easy, I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10, just because if I were to replicate this later, if I'm out in public, I couldn't exactly do it, though that's not something we really have to worry about right now. But I'm gonna go with a 9. I think I am likely to repeat it, so that's just gonna be a full 10 out of 10. I think in part because it was so easy, but also because I think that it sort of centers you to thinking about the scene, and also already like it helps you get up more than I'm currently doing usually, so it's like everything that I need. And for enjoyment, it took me a while to get into it before I finally came to like, oh, just zero in, be kind of zen about the story. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 for enjoyment. And now I need to make use of the dual monitor. Yes, we are going to pull up. Does Netflix have it or is it Disney Plus? Search Marvel. Oh, hell yeah. Perhaps to no one's surprise, I did not get much done. That time lapse was just sad. To be fair, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is like Sony, but it's in association with Marvel. And I actually took a picture because so I've seen this movie only once before, so this was probably my bad. But look at that. It's such like beautiful animation. Oh, it's so cool. Like look at all the, oh, it's so good. Anyways. Whoops. I mean, enjoyment was a 10 out of 10. What was the word count? Oh yeah, about as sad as I thought. Okay. Now I must run and get something. I'll be back. It's heavy sweater time. And puppy time. I gotta say, this is the coziest I've been, although it's like 75 out already. Would I repeat this? Maybe. For enjoyment, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I am getting a little bit toasty. I could have turned the fan on, but I wanted to do this in full. I do love having my little hands covered though, just a little bit as I'm typing. Now I'm actually gonna take a break real quick to take the little puppy dogs out on a walk, so the sweater definitely had to come off anyways. I figured since the next one was wash hands, feet, and face, this would be the perfect time to take the gloves out. Yes, sir. What a good puppy you are. Yes, sir. All right, 10 minutes of staring at the wall down. Now it's time to write. Aha! I do think that was good for brainstorming. The interesting thing is going to be if I brainstormed for the entire story, and will I see that a reflection in the word count this time? Does that make sense? Like, I don't know that I brainstormed exactly next steps so much as the story as a whole. All right. Boop, 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 boop. I am starting to notice a pattern emerging on the word count. I did give it an enjoyment, a 10. I enjoyed the process of washing the hands and the feet and the face and then just kind of sitting there thinking about it, also because then the smells were just sort of wafting it up, but it was just pleasant overall. I did only give it a vague 2 out of 10 for how easy it was and a 5 out of 10 for repeat. Mostly because while I enjoyed it, that whole process did take like an additional 20 minutes, I guess, in total, maybe. You know, if you only had 10 minutes to write, like I'm doing in this experiment, you wouldn't want to do it. But if it was like about to be a full hour, it might be more worthwhile. Also the 2 out of 10 again, because there's some extra prep. If you weren't at home, that wouldn't be a very viable option. So again, though, I enjoyed it. 10 on 10. And these next 2 hacks actually involve simply changing the font. So we will do... Do I have Garamond? I don't have Garamond on here. Google Docs it is. Start. I made a note to myself part of the way through that it only took me slightly longer this time, I think, to get used to the font. Or I made a couple more mistakes because I just wasn't used to the spacing. So like when I misspelled something or when like my hands, I typed it too fast and it was wrong kind of thing, there would be the squiggles, but then it took me a second to reorient to the font and figure out exactly which letter had been moved the wrong place. So basically what I'm saying is I don't know that the Comic Sans one that everyone talks about is going to do much for me. But did I enjoy it? Like it was fine. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It was super easy, 10 out of 10. I really just used whatever the presets are. So, and I got Comic Sans. Ew. I think I'm gonna give this one the exact same stats as the last one. And then we'll just change the word count, which actually is not that far off. So before I continue dabbling and trying new things, I did want to tell you about today's sponsor, Skillshare, which is also helping me to dabble and try new things. For those of you who don't know, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes for creative and curious people. You can use it to dabble and explore new skills or deepen existing passions on topics including illustration, design, creative writing, freelance and entrepreneurship, and a lot more. I'm currently taking the DIY product photography, style and shoot creative stills from the duo at Mango Street, who I love on YouTube, Rachel and Daniel. I've been wanting to learn how to take better shots of my books, not just like for my Instagram, but also when I have published books, both the paperback and hardbacks. I want to be able to take, you know, aesthetically pleasing shots for people who don't know anything about me or my books. The cover and the pictures are what you see first, so I want to get better at that. My personal favorite hack that I've learned from this class is to actually try and shoot stuff in your garage, because you can kind of control the amount of light that's coming in. That way you're not sort of dependent on the sun or like a harsh overhead light. This class is also super helpful for my personal freelancing journey, because if you can provide write the picture like accompanying the article or the essay and give that to the newspaper, the journal, the online magazine, whatever. That makes it an infinitely easier sell. I've also added to my classes Intro to Digital Painting, Procreate to Photoshop, a beginner-friendly guide by Mimi Chow, and Writing for Expression, How to Make Your Words More Artful and Lyrical by Hanif Abdurakib. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, so there are no ads and they're always launching new premium classes, so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. Also, the first 1,000 people to use my link in the description below will get a free trial of premium membership so you can explore your creativity. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. So now, we need the journal. I'm actually on almost the last page of this notebook. You're going to scoot this forward. Because I've been journaling at night. I don't know if you can see this. So from the 24th. And that's helped me with going to sleep at a reasonable time, just to get the thoughts out of my head. So I think maybe this will help. I don't know. Look, see. That, and then that's it. It's just this page. I did already order a new one. Beautiful. So I will get to do that soon. So I'm just gonna, no timer on this. We're just gonna journal and see how long I need to do it for, and then we'll do another 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Now it is time to write. So I actually had to do a little gap here. That's what I do every time. But because I came up with the ending, which is exciting because now basically I've turned the corner where now I've gone from not knowing exactly how I was gonna get to the conclusion to like having a kind of clear-cut plan for each and every sprint after that. And I quite liked journaling a little bit ahead of time. I don't know if that's what gave me clarity or just where I was at in this short story, but either way, it is time to rate. How many did I get? That is interesting. Okay. Repeatability, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 10 out of 10. And it was quite easy. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 just for like the time constraints that one might need, depending on how much you journaled, because I did like a half a page. And for enjoyment, yeah, a full 10 out of 10. I'm trying to think about rationally how I could fit this in, because I tend to write really early in the morning and nothing's happened in my day yet. But like maybe I could even do a dream journal. Like there's still stuff on your mind in the morning, just not as much stuff for me. So I waited until dark to do these next ones. Dark, because it's winter almost, and it gets dark super early. Because my office and like several of the other rooms like this one have a little bit of light that's still come in. I realized afterwards I could have used like the closet, but you know, I came out of that a while ago. Also, I forgot that that was an option. So we have decided this is where we will be. Good job, Duke. And luckily for me, this current short story does take place at night. It's technically inside at night, but I think the mood will be perfectly replicated here. So switch this back off. Okay, Google, set a timer for 10 minutes.
Second timer for 10 minutes. Starting now.
Second timer, thank you. That was kind of nice. Ooh, this is the first time in a while I've stopped in the middle of a sentence. It wasn't much, but it was a feeling. She'd missed those. His flight. That is a problem for next sprint meet. In the darkness though, I'm going to have to, you know what, I'll turn on the light. Like a 9 out of 10. It was nice to mix it up. Okay, so I don't have a fan that blows directly in the face, but I do have the overhead fan that's quite loud. We'll crank it all the way up. Ooh, that's some air. Okay. I also have a bonus sound effect of the dryer going, which for the purposes of this experiment, we can pretend is like explosions. Now this one I have to switch over to a different story, so that's also going to be fun. I said that. Okay. That is so loud. But my puppies seem happy. I went ahead and rated this a 5, 8, and 5 respectively. What I really wish is that I had my sweater with this one. I do think there's something for these past two about putting yourself in a slightly similar situation or feel. Things like this sort of make you think about the world and how your characters would react to it in a different way. Like if I were somewhere cold, like I'm kind of cold now, I might be able to tell more about like at what point my fingers start feeling cold versus when I start getting goosebumps versus when I can feel that the hair is like turning to icicles or like something is that, you know what I'm saying? Like I could tell those stages and that's helpful. There we go. And now for the one that I have been the most excited for, mostly just because I want bubble tea. Let's get on the road. I mean, wow, with those fans, maybe I should have written in here. That's my bubble tea place. The tea is out, so it's delicious. As I've consumed half of my bubble tea, I'm hoping the powers of sugar will power me through here. Because I think that's the magic to this one, is just sugar. Well, y'all are cute. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's my best sprint yet. Now I can take... That was almost terrible. I can take the sticky note off. Yeah. Alright, so I do think the sugar helped, as that was by far my best one at 391 words in total. I'm gonna put some stats up here for what my average over the 10 sprints was, but we're just gonna debrief a little bit here. So I had a working theory that my first sprint of the day, and days in quotes, so first sprint from not writing, does that make sense? So like this morning's one with the power poses was actually my 4th best at 273. If my bubble tea one was the best, my lights off, the one that I had done after a break midday, was the 2nd best at 329, and then the one right after that was the next at 287. So I think just when my brain is the freshest, it does the best in terms of word count. Though I do still think that the journal entry really helped because I had a general direction, but like I said, I didn't know exactly how it was gonna get from the beginning to the end, and I had an aha moment. Maybe because of the brain dump, maybe because I was just at that place in the story. I don't know, but it happened during that one, which was journal entry 259, right in the middle. Actually, I got 259 twice. The journal entry and wash up. That being said, the journal entry one was the best score across the board. I definitely think I'm going to be doing that one more often. While I enjoyed the bubble tea one as I enjoy anything involving bubble tea, I don't think it's super realistic to go out and get a bubble tea every single time. Though, you know, if that's the hack you need to write faster more, which is all it technically was based off of this one instance, I consider that a success. Really though, actually, let me add all this up. Dang, okay, that is 2,657 words today across 100 minutes of writing. That's pretty phenomenal. Like if all you're gonna do is 10-minute writing sprints, that was pretty great. I actually encourage everyone to do a version of this because I think it kept these sprints interesting enough for me each time without being a huge change to the actual writing. Like some of these, I talked about the washing up one, required a little bit more prep ahead of time and like staring at the wall for 10 minutes. So collectively, the whole thing took me like 30 minutes to do. But if you're sprinting for longer, you know, it's just something fun to dabble with, change it up just a little bit like I like to do personally with the standing desk, this desk, the bike desk, on the couch, on the bed, wherever. And controversially, I don't think the Comic Sans hat was all that. I really don't. It wasn't even in my top 5 word count. I think that's because I tend to zero draft. Like today was all zero drafting, which means that I rarely go back and edit anyways. I kind of just go off of whatever is next. Like that one I was concerned about where I stopped midway through the sentence, and by midway I mean immediately after the first word. I just changed the start of the sentence in the next sprint. That was it. That was my solution. Zero drafting. There you go. But please do comment down below. Let me know what you think of any of these methods, any of these hacks. Do you think there are any of these that you would try? I'm gonna go ahead and challenge all of y'all to attempt to do the journaling one. I think that one was super beneficial. I'm excited to try that again. And please also comment down below and let me know if you have any sort of hacks or habits like these that I didn't try out that have like really helped you or helped to revolutionize your like writing process. And how often do you change up your writing process? How often do you try a new sort of technique like this? But that is gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you especially to some of my new patrons this month. Grayson Cooper, Aubrey, Megan Archambault, Renee Middleton, Noah Neal, Daniel, Kay Zedler, Eleanor Oyela, Shan Lacey, Luca Turnerova, Ashley Padego, Sean Young, Chaz Love, Steph McHugh, Laura Tector, Connor Evans, M. Rose, Samantha, Jessica, Maggie Gonzers, Novels and Tomes, Sarah Busing, Ty Lesher, Lucy Ingalls, Mayreed Victory, Elise Dennison, Brooke Better, Amy Richardson, Casey Van Patten, Fabiana Echeverria, Natalie Locke, Callie Floyd, Queen Nagan, KR Green, Zoe Peters, Ashley, Lynn Foster, Alexander Dominguez Correa, Kat Mosher, Sarah Sutton, Vixen of Fiction, Brianna Sazel, and Christina, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye! Away this sausage. Okay, there you go, sweetie. Though I do still think that the... Oh, you good, bud?